Okay guys, I just picked this up on sale, so now it is time to unbox it, get the battery connected, get the fuel set up, let's test it, break it in. I'm going to show you that entire process, give you a lot of tips and tricks along the way, and most importantly, share a few things to make sure that you don't void your warranty when you're using the generator. So right off the top, obviously I've opened this before. Your manual's in here. I would definitely recommend reading that. It's also got the high altitude kit, which we'll install. It's got the remote, which is nice. It's got the propane, which we're actually going to be using right away. It's got a funnel for you. You don't need to buy one. So that's for the oil. This is the battery tender for the DC, and then your spark plug adjustment kit as well. So super handy to get all those included. Here's your first life hack. This is a very heavy generator. It comes on wheels, right? So just wheel it around as you're using it. So one thing, instead of lifting it up and out of here, now if you've got a second person, maybe it's worth lifting up and out of here. The one thing that you can do though is just cut the bottom of the box, lift the box. It's going to be way easier and it's going to save your back. We're going to start on the side with the pull cord here. So it's just got these two kind of hand cranks here. So you loosen them quite a bit. And then you've got the pull tab up here. You can generally hear them kind of click out of place. And then it's going to have 4 connectors here. And then there's 2 little clips that just sit in there. They don't actually clip, I guess. Now the first thing we need to do is connect the battery. You don't need to do these in a particular order per se, but we'll go ahead and connect that. Now everything on the back side, the control panel, if you will, is set to off, set to standby, so there's nothing going on here for that. That took some major pulling strength to get it together. That's pretty tight, but those are good to go now. We'll tuck those back away, just around the corner here. Now this is our oil right here. So we've got the drain plug here, which is really nice. It's got a little drain compartment there. Make it a little bit cleaner than it has been in the past, at least older models that I've seen. And then our oil is going to be right here. Hopefully you could see that. So we're going to go ahead and add some oil. Now it recommends 10W30. I'm in a much colder climate, so I'm actually going to use 5W30. Now before you come at me in the comments, this is what my local Harbor Freight sells, is this 5W30. So you're going to use full synthetic, of course, and this is just from Costco. Keep it nice and cheap. All right, let's go ahead and get it loaded. We're just shy of that high line, so we'll call that good. But that's the oil process. So you've got the battery and the oil. Now we need to get to the other side. Again, you got these 2 tabs. Go down here. You'll line up these 4 plugs. Oops. Kind of push those in, and then just tighten these. Now let's jump to the other side. It's going to be the same procedure to open these. To open this side up, this access. All right, what we're looking for over here is this air filter. It's just a long, same type of hand screw, whatever you want to call it. Okay, this is the air filter. So now, as you can see, it's a foam one, and it is dry as can be. So this, you want to get some oil on it so that the finer particles are going to get trapped in here. Now it says to do this when you clean it in the manual. Surprised it doesn't say to do it on startup. Now you can do just a quart-sized bag, put a couple drops of oil in it, and then kind of like mix it all around, put this in there, get it all wet like that, or oiled up, whatever. I just prefer the spray. It's a little bit easier, kind of give it a few glossings, and then we can put it back in. So I'm going to go over that bag and spray it. All right, so I actually had a lot more oil on this cardboard than I thought. Clean cardboard, clean oil, so I figure it's fair game to use it on this air filter. So I got it at least, primed there, and then we'll just now you don't want it soaking wet by any means, but just kind of coated like that. Okay, then this goes back. This rounded edge is going to be back in that corner there. We've got that cleaned up a little bit. So now we can go ahead and put this cover back on. We are almost there, which is really exciting. With that, we are now ready to go ahead and turn this bad boy on, which is really exciting. The one thing you need to know is if you're going to be using gasoline, you have to use a fuel stabilizer or a fuel treatment system, something like that. So that will void the warranty if you just use regular gas, even non-ethanol. So you have to use a fuel stabilizer in there. I'll link this one below. It's Lucas, obviously a trusted brand, pretty popular. I would grab the bigger one of this, just so you have a lot more on hand when you actually need to use this, because this will only treat up to 25 gallons. So I'd recommend the bigger one. The reason we have the smaller one is because we have another smaller one from a different thing that we were working on. And then I also plan to use this on propane mostly. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that propane hookup now. The propane setup is super simple. First, I'm just going to lock the wheels so it doesn't move around on us here. I'm going to pull off this propane tab here. This is, I believe, the quick connect of some sort. Push that in. There we go, locked in there. Then we're going to take this cover off of the propane tank. And this connector here is just like any others. Let's see, is that for extra cord, I think. This is just like any grill or anything like that you'd have. All right, felt it kind of pop in place there. Now you need a minimum, what is it, the 20-pound propane tank they call it. So you need a minimum this size, which is your typical, grill size. So we'll make sure that that's all the way tightened in. Okay, we've got it hooked up. We are ready to get this started. But before we do, we need to get out of this garage, take it outside, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll. Now let's talk about the break-in process. So the break-in process is the first 30 hours for this generator. Normally it's a lot less than that, but for this one it's 30 hours, which is fine. And so you want to be under 75% of the running load. So if you're using gasoline, that's under 2,900 watts. And if you're using propane, that's under 2,700 watts. And I would highly recommend for the first hour just to do it on no load, and then kind of a smaller load, kind of progress from there. And then after you're done with those 30 hours, you could change the oil. Now you can change the oil before then, but you at least want to change it at the 30-hour mark for sure. The reason being is as these come out of the factory, they're not perfect, and so as all of the metal parts are moving against each other, you're going to get shavings, and so you don't want those to continue to cycle through. So you'll want to remove those through the oil. Now, like I said, I'm going to be using propane. If we were using gas, I would need to put in the altitude parts kit. Since some of you don't care about that, I'll make that a separate video. So I'll link that down below if you're interested in or needing to put that up there. Go ahead and reconnect this. And then what do you say? Should we use the remote start option for our first time? I think that would be great. Okay, we'll go ahead and switch that to propane. Go ahead and open that all of the way up. Turn our battery switch to on. There we go. Let's give it a shot. I was just checking to make sure the economy mode was turned off. Now, I don't know what you're going to hear on this, on the mic, because the mic's just right here, not at the camera. This is incredibly quiet. Holy cow. I mean, much quieter than a lawnmower, quieter than our air conditioning. That's crazy. To be fair, there is no load, and it's propane. So, like, this is as quiet as it will get. But that's awesome. So I'm just going to let this run for an hour. Let me know if you guys have any comments or questions down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.